Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel, my new channel called Root Cause. Here we're gonna go deep. We're gonna go deep and analyze things from the root cause, from the bottom reason, the reasons that are not obvious to most people. I think most people of the mindset of the surface, it's things that are obvious they can see, but I found that a lot of people don't see the root cause of things. Uh, and the reason why I see it is because of my personality type. Uh, I'm known as an INTP in the Myers-Briggs personality type test. And INTP characteristic is that we tend to look at the underlying reasons for things. We don't look at the surface. And a lot of things in life has its roots deep. That's not obvious, and it manifests itself on the surface. And if you fail to see the underlying cause, then you can't find a solution, um, because the solution oftentimes um, is not obvious. Okay, so today we're going to talk about karma and why is it taking so long. Why does karma have a lag time? In fact, because it has a lag time, that caused a lot of people to really believe it. Don't even believe that's true. Because we live in a physical world and things happen immediately. If you throw a ball up in the air, it immediately falls down every single time. Okay? And it falls down at a predictable rate, and it does that immediately. So we tend to accept that as true for everything in our reality. Um, in in human relations, in taking action to do something, we expect it to happen immediately or soon after, especially in modern times nowadays. When you have the internet and you have the phone, and things happen very, very quickly. When you order something on Amazon, for example, it comes a day later, sometimes that afternoon. So we expect things to immediately happen. But karma is not like that. Karma not only does not happen immediately, sometimes it does, but not all the time. Most of the time it doesn't. uh, but you can't predict when the reaction is going to be. Sometimes it happens right away. Most of the time it doesn't, and you can't predict when. At times it happens 2 days later, or 10 days later, or 10 years later, or even a lifetime later. Next life, who knows? But why does it do that? Now, first of all, uh, karma is real. Karma is factual. I've seen it with my life, and I think if you live longer than 20, 25, 30 years on this earth, you will see that. Um, Young people tend to not see it because they have not experienced life long enough to see a pattern. But they too will see once they have enough experience of living, and they too will see that yeah, there is a reaction, an action reaction to things in life, not just in the physical world, but in human relations and things like that. Okay, now let's get on to why, because I ponder this a lot. All my life I ponder, why is it that karma can't happen right away? Somebody wrong you, how come he doesn't get the punishment right away, right? Or if you do something right, how come you didn't get the reward right away? um, why is that? Must not be true then. you know And so when something happens, when you do something right, and and something good happens to you much later, most likely you've forgotten about it, right? You just enjoy the nice stuff that comes to you, but you don't make the connection, that the reason why the nice stuff comes to you now was because of what you did years ago, you know, or last week even. If you ask somebody what they had for dinner yesterday, they have a hard time telling you what they ate yesterday. That's how short of attention span we have, you know. So we don't always remember what we did or didn't do that caused our situation currently. Okay. So anyhow, let's get to why. Okay. If you want to know why, You gotta understand why. The reason why we live, the reason why we are born, the reason why we exist in a physical reality. Okay, and the reason why we exist, physicists like Tom Campbell, researchers found out now that the physical world, what we think is a physical world, is really a simulation. We're inside a computer, like a video game. And the reason for the simulation, because there's always a reason. If it's a simulation, there's a reason why it's simulated. It just doesn't come up, there's an intentionality behind it. And for example, if you play Fortnite, for example, my son loves to play Fortnite. It's a video game. There's an objective to the game. You just don't go around, with characters on the game for no reason all day. You need to get somewhere, score something, so that's the purpose of that game. Okay, the purpose of our game, of our reality, physical reality, is for our core, which is a religious people call it spirit, to learn, to improve, to change, okay, into a more understanding, a more complete, a more mature spirit, a soul, which for those of you who's not familiar with this simulation theory, all religion talk about it, but they talk about it in religious terms, but it's all about becoming better, a better being. Your body is just a temporary vehicle upon which your soul resides, so that it can interact in the physical world, which has restrictions. It's the restrictions that cause you to have to overcome, and by overcoming is how you become better, you learn. Okay, now here's why. Okay, why is it that karma takes a long time? It's not immediate. Here's why. If the purpose of life is for you to become better, to learn to become, not just to act better, but to become better, then by not allowing you to get the reward right away, it forces you to change on the inside for real. For example, the reason why people don't speed on the road, okay, is because they're afraid to get caught by the cops, right? So they have posted speed limit, okay, on the road. Some people do speed anyways to try to get away with it, right? But most people follow the speed limit not because they believe in it. It's because they're afraid to get caught, right? And that's why slick guys that know ways to get around things, they speed anyways because they think they can get away with it. And some of them do get away with it, okay? They look around, they got radar detectors or whatever, and they try to bypass it, right? If the cops aren't around, they do it, okay? So, and then most people feel the same way. If they can get away with it, they will, okay? So do they believe the core reason why there's a speed limit there? No, they couldn't care less, okay? Now, if the city is logical, and put the speed limit there, there's a reason why they do that. It's because they know that the condition of that road, there could be a elementary school or a school there, that any faster and it will increase the chance of accidents, okay? So they come up, hopefully, with a formula of why is it that speed limit at that location is 35 miles per hour instead of 60 or instead of 45 or whatever. Okay, hopefully they make the decision based on logic, on reason, okay? So, but even if they don't make the decision on that scientific reason, there's a reason why they post it like that, right? Because they think, at least the people in authority think that 35 is about, fast enough. Or they do a flat across the board, like on military bases. I've been in the U.S. Air Force for 20 years. I know military bases, it's automatic that if you're in the housing area, it's 25 miles per hour. Automatic. Even if it's not posted, okay? It's accepted as 25 miles per hour, okay? Maybe arbitrary, but they know that Anymore, you won't have time to react and stop the car if a kid runs in front of your car. Okay, so that's the reason why. Okay, but most people couldn't care less. They don't know why. They don't care to know why. The reason why things are the way they are. They just saw the speed limit and they obey because they're afraid of getting a ticket. Okay, so do they really change on the inside? No. They do that because they're afraid. Okay, now back to the question, the thing about karma. Okay, people, the creator of the universe, okay, you could call him God or whatever. I call it unified field. There's a purpose and intentionality behind the creation of the physical universe. Okay, it's for us to learn, for us to become, not just act and nice, act correctly, become correct, become moral. Okay, really understand why you don't do certain things. So even if nobody's around to watch you, you're still gonna do right. That's the purpose of why God wants you to change, to do things. And that's the reason why he doesn't give you immediate reward for doing something correctly, with karma, or vice versa. Okay, because think about it. If it doesn't come immediately, okay, let's say a criminal, okay, he doesn't care. He just goes and steals things, because, and some of these criminals they aren't poor. It's not like, okay, well, they need to eat, so they don't have any other choice, and at that moment they're so hungry, they just have to steal that apple or whatever, so they can eat. Still not excusable, of course. It's still wrong to steal, but at least you understand the reason why. But I'm talking about criminals, okay? People that are already rich and they want more. they want to trick you to get more because they get a kick out of that. They think they're smart by doing that. And because they don't immediately get the punishment from karma, okay, they continue to do it. Why not? Right? Why not? Okay. So that means they didn't change from the inside. Why? There's no reason for them to change. If they can cheat you out of your money, cheat so many people out of their money and live lavishly, why not? It's easy, right? And they even laugh on the inside. They're like, well, you got a stupid idiot here. He actually let me cheat him. Wow. I'm justified for cheating because he's stupid. He should have known better, right? So I feel good because I'm smarter than him, So they not only feel good that they think they're smarter, but they also feel good because now they go out and they buy themselves, Lamborghini or whatever, and they drive around, breaking the speed limit, right? But eventually it'll catch up with them later, and they always pay. I live long enough to see that, I've been alive on this earth for over 50 years, half a century. So I see pattern, okay? I see it. Like Madoff, for example, the biggest con artist in history, right? Set a Ponzi scheme, con so many people out of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Sitting in jail right now for the rest of his life, But during the time that he was able to con people, he felt great. He felt very powerful, right? Smart, right? Live lavishly. I don't get to live this way for being stupid, right? So he kept doing that until he reached a point where, the reckoning day came, and then he has to pay. So he didn't change on the inside. You see, the unified field wants you to change on the inside. He gives you free will, so you can figure out for yourself. It doesn't happen right away, so that you have time to figure out for yourself. You see the effects of your action, and then you change on the inside on your own. If you don't change on the inside on your own, you keep repeating over and over again, at some point, because of the laws of physics, it's kind of like a law of physics, it comes back to you, and then you have to pay. Or if you keep doing things that are good, eventually, you get your reward. But here's the thing about doing something good. If you're doing something good just to expect something in return, then you're not really good on the inside, are you? You're doing something good because you want something back. That's a transaction, right? That is not changing on the inside. You're doing something good because it's important, to help others, for example, or to do things right so that society runs more smoothly in a more loving, caring way for others. Okay, you don't cause damage, to the society that you live in, because you truly believe that others deserve a good place to live. So you don't rev your engine loud in a neighborhood, for example, and startle the babies, because you want to feel macho. Okay, they can have noise ordinance to give you a ticket for doing that. But then most of the time you get away with it, right? They're not there to enforce it, so you don't really care. People that do that, they don't really care because they don't have babies, they don't have kids, they don't have little kids of their own to see that, until they do, and all of a sudden they care, and all of a sudden, they scold others for doing that. But when they were younger and didn't have a baby, they did that themselves. But see, these people don't see it either. They criticize others for doing the same thing they used to do, right? So they never really learn anything. It's easy to criticize other people, but they don't look back at themselves and say, I did the same thing. I was a jerk, and I need to change. You see, so long and short of it is, that's the reason why karma does not happen right away. It's because God wants you to change on the inside. He wants you to learn on your own so you can change. He doesn't want you to be an automaton, like a robot. You will do. I punish you right away so that you better behave. Okay? Then you just do it because you're afraid to be punished. You don't do it because you really truly believe the reason behind why you shouldn't do that. See that? See, that's why karma takes time. Same thing with rewards. He wants you to be a good person on the inside, whether you get rewarded or not. Okay, that's why the reward may or may not come at all. Because he wants you to know, are you really good on the inside on your own? Even when I'm not looking. Even when you're not going to get anything in return, for doing that. And you do it because it's the right thing to do, and you feel good because you're helping society become better for everybody. Okay? And that's why you're doing it. That's what karma is all about. That's what God wants you to do. That's what the Unified wants you to do, to change on the inside. And the only way to change on the inside is if you go and you figure out for yourself why. He can't tell you. Okay? That's why. That's the whole purpose of life is that. That's the whole purpose. So if he comes and punishes you right away every time you do something wrong, he'll defeat the purpose of why he created you in the first place. So that's why. That's why karma takes a long time. And that's why, because it takes a long time, and because it seems to be random, some people, probably most people, don't even believe karma is true. They think it's superstition. Superstition. But it's not. It's kind of like the laws of physics. But the laws of physics that govern the physical world is immediate. There's the immediate and obvious cause and effect. Throw some things in the air, they come down immediately. You can repeat it. You can time it. You can time it and find out that it falls 32 feet per second every second. That's the law of physics. Newton's laws of motion. Okay. But in human affairs, it may not come down at all. You do something and nothing happened. There's no consequences. And then next time you do it, consequence right away. Same exact thing. And then so on and so forth. So then to you, your human mind think, it's random. Karma doesn't, it doesn't exist. It's random. But if you look at patterns throughout life, people that do bad, do, selfish things, their life usually doesn't turn out well, and eventually they just perish. Either they no longer live that way, or they're forced to change, or they just die. You know, they just their purpose is gone. Every one of us has a purpose, you know, and we have an expiration date, and when our job is done, job is to change in a certain way, and the unified field sees that you're up against a wall, you won't change anymore, you can't learn anymore, then it probably caused you to die, you know, just die, you know, because then you need to recycle, you need to reincarnate for another chance at it, you know, maybe slightly different, maybe slightly easier, so that you can learn, because obviously it's too hard, you know, the condition that you're in, the situation you're in right now, who you are as a physical being, does not allow you efficient learning, so then it does that. Or if you're so advanced, you know, that you need to have a more advanced class, so then you just die and reincarnate into a more difficult situation in order for you to learn. So yeah, hopefully this will help you understand why karma takes time. It doesn't happen right away, and like I said before, the bottom line is the purpose of physical existence is for you to learn, and by having karma that doesn't happen right away forces you to learn, forces you to change on the inside at the being level, and not on the surface, because you're afraid of being punished, or you like the reward right away. And so you've seen people like that, you know, they're nice to you only because they want something from you, and they think they can get something from you right away. But if they don't get something from you right away, they act like they don't even know you, they don't care to know you. And those are very selfish people that need to learn more. They're the ones that really need to change on the inside, because you know, physical reality is rough, right? It's not, as physicist Tom Campbell said, this is not a place for you to drink beer all day. Okay, you may drink beer at times, okay, you may celebrate at times, but this is not a party place. Okay, this place is harsh. It's harsh. You know, you have to overcome a lot of things, you know, simply because you have a physical body that has limitations. You can't, you know, to use his example, you can't jump 20 feet in the air. Okay, not in this reality, physical reality, not without a machine, you know, and there's a reason for that. That's a restriction. If you want to go somewhere, you can't just blink out of existence here and blink into existence in, say, Hawaii, okay, 3,000 miles away, okay, not the physical reality. You have to traverse the distance in between. And, you know, the only way to do that, or two ways, is by ship, which takes months, or by aircraft, you know, very fast airplane that takes 5 hours, flying at about 500 miles an hour, okay, over the ocean. So you have to traverse the distance in between. That's the physical reality. You can't just all of a sudden appear. So that's a challenge, of course, right? You know, as humankind, you have to invent a machine that could fly and do that. And look how long it took for human beings to do that. Okay, it took us millions of years from the time we first appeared as a proto-human or humanoid, to the time that we're able to build an airplane that can do that. It takes a long time. So it's physical reality that we have to overcome, and with the physical reality we have to overcome all the inventions that we have to make, and through all those inventions we learn, right? We change, we advance. Spiritually, we still have room to advance, because we use airplanes to kill people, okay, fighter jets and bombers, okay, so that's not as advanced as you know, as God would like, probably. But hey, we're learning, and we're learning the hard way. You know, we have to go through hardship and figure out for ourselves. That's the best way to learn. So on that note, good luck to you. Hopefully this knowledge will help you in your journey in life. Karma is real. It doesn't happen right away. because God wants you to learn and change from the inside, so for the better. So please do change on the inside for the better. Figure out on your own. Do the right thing even when nobody's looking, and so you'll be fine. On that note, see you later.